Hello everyone. So, on the behalf of the Association of the Swiss Naturopathic Practitioner with Federal Degree, I will present you what we have achieved this year in Switzerland. We made many things. So first of all, we did a study. The study was interesting because it was the persistent spike protein syndrome, rapid resolution with ultraviolet blood irradiation. I did that study with my colleague, Dr. Thomas Levy, which is a medical doctor, and JD as well. So it was good. Why we did that study? It's a paper. The paper is here. You can download it on orthomolecular.org. I think it will be linked to the movie when I send it to you. We did a 7 to 8 page paper with many references, 48 references, to explain how to do with the patient with a long COVID symptom. Because as you all know, with the coronavirus and the injections, there was many problems. Now it's admitted that injection created also problems and could not be so effective because the coronavirus make a mutation every 15 days. Now it's totally okay to discuss about that without being named a conspirationist. Anyway, I had patients that were suffering the long COVID symptoms with fever, muscle pain, no energy, memory loss, etc. and you name it. And you might have seen them too. So to know what to do with natural treatment, it was a bit invasive, but we can do that in Switzerland. Well, I remember Dr. Verli that was in the past, which treated a therapy called HOT. It was hematogenic oxidation therapy. He used this device and this device. This was to collect the blood, so it is a vacuum bottle. You put a link here, you put it in the vein, and the blood will go in the bottle up to 150 milliliters. Once this was done, what did Dr. Verli do? He put the blood, he transferred to this bottle with a UV. So it was a hard procedure. I bought the machine as well. That's the machine of Verli. And the UV was there. I don't know if you can see it online. It's not so powerful. It was inserted with a glass right in like this to irradiate the blood. So there was no contact between the UV and the blood. The process was about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. And on the other hand, on the other side, there was oxygen, medical oxygen, that was shot through this tube to the bottle. So there was blood, there was a UV, very low density UV, and oxygen. And then the blood became red. And then he re-inject the thing, he clamped that, he injected to the patient back again in the arm with this tube. It's a bit complicated to do, it requires a lot of material, and it's very sloppy, but effective. So since I had studied that method, it was in Senegal, he was a Swiss doctor, I said, for those patients, since the UV is antiviral, anti-fungus, antibacterial, it's also helping when the blood is clotting in the arteries or when there is a thrombosis in the vein. So I remember my studies when I was in Germany at this time. So I said, well, if the principle is working for normal virus, it can work for coronavirus. So I did a few, not tests, I did a few therapy with a modern machine this time. I took the Kastner device, this one, which is more protected. The UV is much stronger. I cannot really show you the UV because if I open it, it will not work. It's a protection. It's about 10 times stronger than the other thing. I think it's 280 nanometers, the length. And the material is very easy because what we used was only 2 trouble syringe with a tube, what we call extension line tube, this one, and a connector to connect both syringe. So the thing is, to take the blood of the patient, okay, we got the thing, that's easy. Then we make like a ping pong with the syringe going through the machine. In fact, you can see that on the study. There is a link that has been put on the study to explain that. It was on the back somewhere. There is the resources and the video link in the study. You can see the movie, it's about 8 minutes when I do that. And what is great with that, we did that on 11 patients for the study to confirm it was working. So at the beginning, the patient had long COVID symptoms, and what we did was measure their D-dimer level, because we know that when there is blood clots in the vein and inflammation, CRP might not be high, and that's the problem. Thrombocyte might not be high, that's the problem. And since it was the spike protein that created those little problems, either from the injection, either from the inhalation of the virus, or both sometimes, well, we measured this with the D-dimer. And I had patients up to 8,000 D-dimer, 12,000 D-dimer. And it's the first time of my life, me and my colleagues, that the lab, when we make the check, they call us to say, hey doc, there is a problem there. The spike is high, the patient might die of myocarditis or heart attack. So it was a really official worry, not a naturopathic problem, but a medical problem. So we said, okay, we measured that first. And since we do a study and we need to help the patient, we're going to do it on 2 treatments, spaced by 3 weeks. Not much, right? So it's not expensive. And what was astonishing is that almost every patient Well, out of 11, only one was not below 500. She was a bit old, but we corrected that after. And every patient was below 500 of D-dimer after 2 sessions. That's amazing. And what's amazing, now we're continuing the study to make a continuous study. So I will show you just 2 patients here. I cannot give you their names, but I give you their birth date. So that was a patient that was born in 1929, so 90 plus, right? She was having 16,258 D-dimer, which is a lot. I don't know if you can read that, if I put it on the behind. 60,000 something D-dimer. After 2 sessions, she got back to 576. 2 sessions, that's amazing. You will tell me it is more than 500, but at 96 something, she could be 800 without a problem. So the machine worked. So we continued that. There was also another patient which was a bit less spectacular. This one was born in 1957, so not so old. Okay, it's less than 80. And the first number was 740 of D-dimer. That's what we reached. You can read the number here, maybe backward. I don't know how it will be on the video. And after 2 sessions, what's amazing is that the patient was 520. That's what's amazing. So every time it works. So how did we do to make it work systematically? Well, I'll discuss that with Dr. Levy next month when I see him for a conference near Blonay, so it's in Switzerland. It's just that we had to make the ping pong a bit longer, 2 minutes, until the blood becomes super red, but really red, 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 with foam. And that is re-injected in the patient. The total operation lasts for 8 minutes. So it was better than what Dr. Verli had done. So we published it, of course, on the study I showed you before. And the results were done in 2 sessions, with only 50 milli of blood. So for that, we needed to have, of course, a good machine for the UV. And of course, the idea of doing it, that was my idea, and Dr. Levy's idea as well. So that's what we've been up to for those last month with the ASNFD, to find a way to improve the therapist technique to help the patient, because now Corona will be a daily consultation with the patient with long COVID for a long time. As you know, the virus mutate every 15 days, and there was about 6-7 viruses in 2020. And when you make a vaccine or an injection, since it's not a vaccine, it was a generic RNA injection. So that increased even the mutation. And you know, coronavirus, they mutate every 15 days, and they last for 3 months. That was a lot of strain combining, and it stopped with the Omicron, which stopped the danger of that thing. But now we still have it. People make sinusitis, they have low blood pressure, they still have a lack of stamina. So what we do, what I advise you to do, make a blood check, test the D-dimer. And for this machine, for this formation, there will be formation in Hiffensheim in Germany. The head, I'm not making publicity, I'm giving you an information. In Germany, they are the main producer for the ozone machine and UV machine. It is the company Kastner, Umares, and Hensler Medical that have joined together during the Corona to survive. So they make formation. I'm also teaching there, the therapy of those things. So dose the D-dimer and see if you need to add this to your education, if you can do that legally in a country, to save patient. You will do a lot of good to the patient, and it will be very interesting to see how you help your patient in 2 sessions. I mean, I was astonished to see the progress we did here with the colleagues and the member of the association. That's what I've been up to. Second things, we also contacted, because that's my personal duty to do it, the authorities. Because in Switzerland, there is some law about naturopathy that say that we can use medication prescribed by the doctors, but without the prescriptions. And some medication can be injected intracutaneously or intravenously. Intravenously is not as interesting for us at the moment, but we need the intracutaneous to do neural therapy, mesotherapy, and all those therapies. And also to potentialize the treatment, like for autoimmunotherapy, if we draw the blood from the patient to re-inject it, it's also nice to add a little magnesium, for instance, something like that. So we cannot do that if the state, there is 26 states in Switzerland, does not give us the right or the list of the products we can use, the medication. And they don't want to do that. They don't want to follow their authority to do that because they see us as competitors. So I start to do letters on various states. Valais, we have a right of practice, but they don't want to give us medication for the moment. Vaud, they don't want to update the naturopath, but at least they know we exist. And Geneva, they're working on it. Fribourg, I don't discuss with them at the moment, but there is like a cartel, which is illegal, a cartel. Because let me remind you that in Switzerland, well, natural medicine, what we call médecine complémentaire, has been added to the Swiss constitution under the law 118A, the article 118A, which says that every state, the 26 of them, 26 states, has to consider, at their possibilities, the work we do as natural practitioners. It's in the law, but they don't respect it. Of course, a second law is saying that every canton has the choice to do what they want. But what would be really the reason of blocking us? We're helping patients. Is there a cartel more than what I think? Is there a conflict of interest? They will have to answer to that, because now I also did a video that is becoming almost viral on the internet explaining this in French. So the link will, I think, also be added to this conference. So you can put it for the members if they want to see it in French, as I know that we have great French members, which I apologize. I'm rarely present at the reunion online since I have many, many other things to do. But I'm listening to you after, so don't worry. That's what we did until now. So there was this. That was the main step we're doing. And the main step will be to be for the state to accept the right of practice, so we can be considered health professionals beside the federal degree. It has to be accepted on the cantonal degree. And then the second fight, I say fight because it's really like a boxing match, with going forward and backward, for the state to give us the list of medication we need for the therapy, which is already refunded by the complementary insurance. I will give you a quick example. Let's say we want to do neural therapy, injection of procaine subcutaneously to get rid of a pain, or to confirm it is from, the pain here is coming from C6, as an example. So we can pick C6 at 2 millimeters with procaine. It should make an anesthetic effect on the nerves if the diagnostic is right, or the hypothesis is right. But we cannot use the procaine because it's not on the list. But if we do it illegally, it is refunded. You see, there is a lot of complication like that. So the state will have to move. They were supposed to do this starting 2015. At the moment I'm speaking, it's 2024. We are in the May, we are the 10th of May, Friday. So it's moving slowly. And it would be good that all the schools that are registered, I will not name them on this explanation, start to ask their students and their directors also to make letters to their health state doctors, to ask what is the list, because the list can change from a state to another. Why don't they make the list? Because they have students that will go out that will make some therapy, and they will not be able to work legally if they don't provide the list. Knowing that if the right of practice is not implemented, I didn't emphasize enough on that, or the medication is not given, it is useless to make a federal degree. Because of course we can make a medical diagnosis, because we have the knowledge for that, for those who studied it, of course. But to make the invasive act, or prescribe some specific element, we cannot use our competence if they don't do that. Well, that's where we are now in Switzerland, and me and my team are working actively to make that point move. Have a great seminar, great conference, and see you soon.